So welcome to the Fitzmac Developments company induction. Welcome to the company. This is a quick run through of the procedures and the company. So onto the first slide, introductions. Anybody around to introduce each other? Why are we inducted? So we're inducted to ensure all staff, contractors and visitors have enough knowledge to complete their job within the minimum risk to themselves and others. To ensure all staff are familiar with the manufacturing facility and their location of work. To ensure all staff have a basic understanding of the health and safety systems in place, and for Fitzmac to know all staff, contractors and visitors understand the basic safety and emergency procedures, to maintain a safe workplace for all workers and visitors alike, and to establish a baseline for all works as a minimum requirement on site. About Fitzmac. Fitzmac is a modular building manufacturing and construction business which was established in 2021 with products for both the commercial and residential markets. Founding directors of the business are Billy Fitzgerald and Carl McDade. General manager of business is Liam Behan. Fitzmac modular units generally comprise a steel portal frame, hot rolled and cold rolled, with the walls and roofs comprising of external insulated cladding panels with windows and doors fitted within the wall panels. Fitzmac currently have multiple contracts at present with the Department of Education on the delivery of multiple size standalone extensions to existing schools, which will be handed over to the client to a turnkey condition. Just the org structure: the board of directors, Billy Fitzgerald for production operations director, and Carl McDade for commercial and contracts director. General manager is Liam Behan, and then the production team is below him, supervisor Arthur. About the role: factory-based construction manufacturing role with some site work required. Report directly to the general manager and supervisor. Responsible for completing tasks within the production facility include pre-assembly works, flooring construction and roof construction, steel frame assembly, cladding walls and roofs, installation of windows and doors, and building fit-out works. Comply with method statements and adhere to health and safety policies and procedures at all times. Adhere to work instructions and procedures. Work to meet daily, weekly and monthly targets, and bring any machine or product defects to the attention of the supervisor, ensuring safety and quality procedures are adhered to at all times. Maintain equipment and work areas in a careful and orderly manner. The employer roles and responsibilities: to comply with health and safety and legal legislation and cooperate with the employer reporting unsafe procedures or equipment. Comply with safety policies and procedures to ensure his or her personal safety and that of others. Cooperate with the employer in relation to safety, health and welfare at the place of work. Report all hazards, injuries, incidents, dangerous occurrences and near misses as soon as possible to the employer. Report any defects in equipment, unsafe activities and deficiencies in safety procedures to the employer. Use any protective equipment and clothing that has been provided for his or her safety. Attend any training as required by the employer. Cooperate with the employer to enable the employer to comply with relevant health and safety legislation. Not engage in improper conduct or behaviour that is likely to endanger his or her other safety and welfare at work. Not be under the influence of intoxicants that may be endanger his or her life. Not interfere and misuse, damage anything provided for the securing safety, health and welfare. General rules: all workers shall observe the following. Supervisors must be on site at all times with workers. One worker on site must be a first aid responder. You must follow the instructions of the supervisor. All procedures and instructions are to be followed at all times. No alcohol or illicit drugs are to be brought on site. Drive to the conditions and only of the vehicles you're licensed to drive. Do not damage property. Do not engage in horseplay or skylarking. General rules: everyone is directly responsible for safety. Report all hazardous situations and incidents immediately to the supervisor or manager. Keep the site clean and tidy at all times. You must be fit for work at all times. Site limit for alcohol is 0. It is a condition of entry to site that you may be randomly drug and alcohol tested. In an emergency, you must follow all instructions to the supervisor. You must wear the appropriate PPE. You must report any medication to the company or health and safety rep. Company Health and Safety Management System. Fitzmac has established a health and safety management system which comprises multiple documents for the management of health and safety within the workplace. This is a live and dynamic system that will change and grow during the life of the company and should be reviewed and updated on a regular basis. This health and safety system is accessible to all workers on site, and a copy will be kept at the site office at all times. Minimum training requirements: manual handling training. If you do not hold a manual, please notify the instructor immediately. Desirable training: abrasive wheels, working at height and forklift ticket, off-site, safe pass. All other training required to perform your role will be facilitated by the company as and when required. Please clearly specify all training held in the employee induction form. You're required to provide copies of the training certification. HR locker. All employees are required to register and process all HR requirements, including timesheets, leave requests, HR documentation and execution, and more. Onboarding. All employees are required to complete the induction sheet in order to onboard to occur. Company handbook will be provided to all employees, reviewed and signed by employees within 1 week of employment. Employment contracts will be provided to all employees and be required to be reviewed and signed by employee within 1 week of employment. Timekeeping and leave. Weekly timesheets will be made available to staff to complete on a weekly basis. This will be required to be completed and submitted to your manager every Monday in order for wage payment to be processed. Applications for leave will be made through the leave application form, which will be made available to all employees. If an immediate leave request arises, an employee shall notify their supervisor and manager of the requirement. Hours of work. Monday to Thursday, 7 to 4 p.m. Break times from 10 to half 10 and from 1 to half 1. Friday is from 7 to 3 and break times are from 10 to half 10 and 1 to half 1. From time to time there may be a requirement for overtime in order to meet the company targets. Employees will be requested by their manager or supervisor as and when required. Your employment contract sets out the company overtime terms. Here is the floor plan of the facility. The offices and welfare facilities are all around the left. Deliveries happen around to the back. Please familiarise yourself with the layout map. Fire assembly point is located where the green circle is shown towards the front of the building. Site access main gate. Entrance to the site, entrance to the factory is there in the blue arrow. Deliveries where the red star is. Welfare facilities circled and highlighted. Kitchens, toilet, canteen, changing room. First aid location. Company first aid policy and procedure is applicable to all employees at Fitzmac. Get initial treatment. The company's first aid policy and procedure establish guidelines for the deployment of first aid kits and administering of primary health care in case of accident, injuries and incidents of bad health. The goal is to provide supplies for appropriate care for minor injuries. Any staff that require first aid immediately report to their supervisor or general manager. First aid kits will be located in the location outlined in the image. The company will ensure replenishment of stocks at all times. The company takes responsibility for providing first aid and then transferring the patient to the hospital and will not be responsible for providing health care beyond that point. First aider on site is James Meehan. Employee notice board. Familiarise yourself with this notice board. Work execution, method statements and risk assessments. These need to be signed, read and understood, and signed at the end. Details of all the equipment needed and the tasks and the risks associated. Fire safety. Good fire safety practices will be followed as include keeping your workplace tidy and have a good standard of housekeeping. The premises is fully fitted with a fully certified fire alarm system. In the event of a fire extinguisher will be made available on multiple locations. The map on the slide outlines this. Please familiarise yourself with the locations. The red star indicates where the fire extinguishers are kept. Smoking areas to the rear of the factory. Smoking is only permitted at break times. Company vehicle policy. Company vehicles may be made available from time to time in order to carry out the work activities. All drivers must be over the age of 25. All drivers must hold a valid driver's license. Company vehicles should only be used for Fitzmac work activities unless otherwise approved by the company. All drivers shall abide by the current Road Safety Authority Ireland rules and regulations. Pre-start vehicle checklist will be provided within each vehicle and must be completed by the driver prior to any movement of the vehicle. The vehicle will be fitted with a first aid and fire extinguisher. Mobile phone use policy. Mobile phone usage within a construction and manufacturing environment causes distractions in the workplace, which in turn has the potential to cause accidents and incidents. Mobile phones are prohibited to be used within the manufacturing area of the facility. Mobile phones may only be used in the office and welfare areas of the facility and should be restricted to break times. The company understands in certain instances employees may need to be contactable, so please notify your supervisor of requirement to approval granted to the employee to such availability. Emergency procedures. In the unlikely event of an emergency, call 999 or 112. When notifying of the incident emergency, please state emergency. Answer the questions as follows. Emergency service needed, your name, the location of the incident, the nature of the incident, the number of people involved, the nature of the injuries, and other existing problems or information. Make sure your message has been understood. Do not hang up until you're told to do so. Provide your number in case the emergency contact is lost. Stay by your phone or radio in case you need to be contacted again. Send someone to the emergency muster point. Nearest emergency service is Limerick University Hospital. The Key Medical Centre is the nearest medical centre, and the nearest Garda station is Newcastle West. Incident reporting. Please report all incidents or accidents to your supervisor. Any questions?